The 3DS is to me the last handheld that delivered magic, beyond just playing a game. You had to be there during its peak, and you know what's the most shocking thing? The 3DS sold slightly less than half versus its predecessor. It should come as no surprise that a lot of people never got to experience it. Today's video is a celebration of one, if not the most cherished handheld I ever owned, but also a breakdown on this shopping experience that aims to bring you the ability to experience the 3DS again, but with no hold bars and with everything packaged to fully capitalize on the greatness of this handheld. Full disclaimer, this unit that sparked this video was provided for review by Red ProClub. More on them later. All opinions are my own and they get to see the video at the same time as everybody else. This is the new 3DS XL, the one I bought on release date. That is my 3DS XL, the one I also bought on release date. And this is my 3DS, and you know, at this point you get the gist. I always was into the gimmicky stuff. It always grinded my gear that people would say that the 3D and 3DS was a gimmick. Oh ye of little faith, how I wish people gave this tech marvel more of a fighting chance. And granted, it was not always used in the best ways, but some games truly made the 3D a magical thing to peek at. The 3DS was home to a lot of cool things. Miiverse, a social network now archived on the internet. Street Pass would let you unlock puzzles and currency when you'd be in physical proximity of another person that also had a 3DS.
Do you remember Street Pass? Maybe not, you might be too young.
It was so tastefully done, but also wasn't at the heart of the experience, and so it was so easy to have one without ever experiencing all that it had to offer. The 3DS had a bunch of other things too. A digital shop to buy your games and download demos. That said, the 3DS specific online shop closed on March 27th of 2023, making it impossible for users who had preemptively downloaded titles or bought the ones they wanted to now go back and do so. Thankfully, physical media can still be bought, but it may not always be the best and most convenient option. With over 1,300 unique 3DS titles and 1,800 backward compatible DS titles, this was and still is a huge amount of games to have been put to rest. Who cares? They do remakes or remasters, and indeed they can, but unless Nintendo has plans we don't know about, the uniqueness to these products will likely not be seen again, at least not from the Plumber company. No more dual screen handhelds and all its other cool things that it used to do. Well, some of want to stay as close as possible to the one-to-one experience, and thanks to the work of brilliant developers and software modders over the years, this can still be done. Red ProClub, the company that sent me the refurbished unit you see here, brings their refurbishing expertise while also leveraging the best software solutions to bring you the most true-to-form 3DS experience there is, while also offering a fully decked out solution and much more. Now, I did take a long detour, but I want to make it clear, if you have a 3DS collecting dust, you could do that yourself, with probably a lot of time, love, and patience. I truly loved the last true Nintendo handheld, and though I have not gone back nearly enough times to revisit it, I would urge anyone who hasn't to try and get that sorted for yourself. But before you do, a word from today's sponsor, Yeasel Fitness. As gamers, health is too often pushed aside. Yeasel Fitness wants to empower us with the ability to do both at once. Meet the G1M Plus, a top quality spinning bike both sleek and durable that comes with speakers and screen. It provides you with all the necessary tools to get back in shape, stay healthy, and keep connected to amazing workout sessions, or do a bit of gaming while doing it all. You can also enjoy your favorite YouTubers' content while breaking a sweat by leveraging the included Type-C to HDMI cable, connect your compatible device to the backup monitor, and get to working out all while keeping live stats. Use the bundled app to keep a log on your workouts, and so much more. Find a huge selection of workouts, both free and part of the extremely affordable subscription plan to mix pleasure and healthy habits all at once. Join a community of ever-growing users from across the world and participate in fun challenges every month. Using the Yeasel Fitness app, you're at the helm of your fitness journey and can go from a wide selection of classes. Low impact, beginner, intermediate, and advanced classes. With multiple new classes every week, you'll never miss out of options to pick from. Thanks to the 360-degree rotating screen, your tethered workout can continue on and off of your equipment, and with the 4 speakers and 2 subwoofer integrated audio solution, No need for earbuds or bulky headsets while exercising. Choose Yeasel Fitness for all your fitness needs and save with their massive year-end deals. Links in the description. Red ProClub is pretty much the shortcut to it all to get there faster, but for a cost and with original hardware. In a nutshell, this company finds abandoned 3DS of various conditions, and their goal is to bring them closer to a better experience. In fact, let's have a look at their website. If we're to look at their 3DS offering, you'll see that they offer a variety of different models, mix and matching original hardware, and sometimes aftermarket ones to bring them back up to snuff. The Zelda Majora's Mask Gold unit, the shell looks and feels pretty good, though not perfect. It most certainly is close enough, and this looks and feels as if I had just bought it, but that limited edition released, well, almost 10 years ago, this coming February. Prices will differ based on the condition and storage size. The 128 and 256GB options will both offer the same amount of 3DS games pre-installed, but the latter will have near complete collections of DS, GBA, GB, GBC, SNES, NES, and Sega Mega Drive games too. Indeed, though I'm sure there are a handful of games missing, I was only able to find a single one that was, which was Terranigma for SNES, great game that I highly recommend if you've never played it. The 512GB and 1TB options have more 3DS games pre-installed, but you should know that you can easily carry out that need by yourself at the cost of waiting a couple minutes and some management of your storage space. When they reached out to know if I was interested in reviewing one of their units, I was skeptical because I also once did the whole process of installing Luma 3DS and many other alternative solutions before it. Take it from someone that kept a close eye on the scene as I would live and breathe in GBA 10 forums back then. These things were extremely time consuming. The reality is, I don't know how time consuming, if at all, that it is nowadays, but before it wasn't only that many 3DSs would get bricked. Hopefully not so much these days. Truly, I don't know. What I do know is that what you have here is not only original internals, but also a software suite fully matured into the peak 3DS hacking scene that ever existed. Some of those tools include Twilight Menu++, which is where you'll find a lot of other systems emulated on the 3DS, FTPD to connect into your 3DS by ways of FTP on your local network, PKSM to manage your Pokemon files. FBI will do a multitude of things such as managing titles and saves, but probably the most exciting ones to many, H-Shop and Ghost Shop, two depositories where you'll be able to download games, first party or else, as well as homebrews, updates, etc. Far more than you could ever play in a lifetime. Maybe you're watching this thinking, yeah, this has been possible for some time. Great, awesome even. As someone that hadn't touched a 3DS in quite a while, I didn't think that not only this was a thing, but better yet, this was still very much up and running, and for how long, I can't help but wonder. But this is something I also wish to address. If you can find a 3DS or have one collecting dust, you can achieve that too. Just be ready to do the heavy lifting or pay to have somebody else do it for you. But as of the making of this video, there isn't a single title I couldn't find, which by the way, you may have noticed by now that I haven't showed a first party title. Please know that it is primarily, not to say exclusively, what the 3DS came pre-installed with. Mario and Pokemon games are oozing out of this device. There it is, at least with the unit I have. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality, which to be fair, they could have also sent a top-notch one, knowing a YouTuber was going to make a review about it. I requested a new 3DS XL. The rest was in their hands. They could have sent me the worst for all I care. I already got one anyway. If I had to guess though, they sent me a near perfect unit, which, funny enough, I never had a 3DS that didn't have a dead pixel right out of the box before the one sent for review. How funny is that? And that's from buying from first day units. Now, we glanced at prices earlier. It's not cheap. At first, I lost my when I saw that. Pardon the language, but it took me a minute. Actually, that's not true. It took me days to come around to it. But as I've been playing it, it reminded me of why the 3DS is so magical, but also that I don't know if we'll have a new console like that ever again. I don't think so, if being honest. The more modern gimmick solutions, aka VR, feels likelier to take over before we see a newer handheld with 2 screens. Quick shout out to a good friend of the channel, DNA Mobile Gaming, with his DNA Duo. Though that's a cool solution, that's also a different one for different hardware for a different type of gamer. Because if it's just about some 3DS and DS best classics, it is true that many got remade, remastered, or can simply be enjoyed through the power of emulation. Some gamers want original hardware and games to be played how they originally were designed. And considering that the 3DS sold far less, it actually is a finite resource. And I can only assume that the price reflects that reality. As time goes by, the price will continue to fluctuate, so will the price of entry for gamers wanting to revisit 3DS games in all their glory. I'll leave you with this one recommendation. Whether they like that I do or not, Red ProClub that is none of my concerns. If you consider purchasing a unit, write them and ask for a picture or maybe a video of the unit you would receive based off of the conditions that interest you. Again, it's not cheap. And if they are motivated to sell, they should equally be motivated to make you feel good with your purchase. And the best way to do that is to respond to your needs of knowing what you're buying into. If you are okay with that, I can't believe what I'm about to say, and trust me, I had to come around to this. I find the word to be honorable for giving this handheld the care it deserves. It is near and dear to my heart and brings many positive souvenirs, so much nostalgia, and one that will remain a closing chapter of one of the most epic consoles to have ever existed. As my closing statement, when I was a kid, you'd play a game on Sega, on Nintendo, on Game Boy. The same title, but all three were a different experience. Each platform was unique, and developers had to capitalize on each of their uniqueness. The concept is, for the most part, no longer in existence. Nowadays, the goal is to port your game one-to-one to reduce development costs as much as possible and rack in as much profit as possible. I don't blame companies. I totally get it. But in that same breath, I can appreciate the 3DS for having been the last console to effectively create that uniqueness in the market. Thanks to Red ProClub for sending this in. If you're interested in looking them up, you'll find all the links in the description. This has been a blast to review. It brought me back to a handheld that I enjoy so much. As always, thank you for clicking and watching the video. Please consider doing all the YouTube things, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.